Hello fellow astrologers, and welcome back to the next video in our Astrology Keyring Fundamentals series. In this video we're going to be talking about what is the water element. In the previous video we talked about the air element, and in this video we're going to be talking about the water element. We're going to be finishing up the entire series by touching on the final element. We're going to go over the different signs, planets, and houses, talk about how they connect on the different parts. Right here we'll go over a little bit more sign, planets, houses, and the links that you can go to, and some of the general traits. But first, before we do all that, let's read the paragraph. Water is the element of emotion, intuition, and inner depth. Water signs tend to experience life through feeling, often picking up on subtle undercurrents in people and places. They are naturally empathetic, imaginative, and emotionally complex, with a strong connection to memory, symbolism, and the unseen. Water helps us understand what cannot be said and feel what others may not know they're expressing. These signs often have healing gifts, creative talents, or psychic sensitivity, sometimes all three. Water signs tend to develop a deep, intuitive understanding of their favorite subject, often studying them more thoroughly than most, and sometimes becoming true specialists. When overwhelmed, water may withdraw, overflow, or become murky with emotional entanglements. But when honored and channeled, it brings wisdom, healing, and profound connection to self and others. Okay, so like all of our other videos, we like going over our collection of links. These are all the water links. You can see right here, if you follow these right here, these will take you to the actual videos pertaining to each of those topics. And these links right here will take you to all the Google links right here. And this is our overall link about what is water. We'll go over that later on in just a minute. Let's talk about what are all the water signs. Water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. The water houses are 4th house, the 8th house, and the 12th house. The water planets are the Moon, Pluto, and Neptune. Now, linearly, when we look at it, Cancer is connected to the 4th house, and it rules the Moon. Scorpio is connected to the 8th house, and it rules Pluto. And Pisces is connected to the 12th house, and it rules Neptune. Now, let's look at it, how it connects over here on the key ring. Now, right here, let's go over here. This is where it starts. Cancer rules the 4th house and the Moon. It's a water cardinal sign. You'll see right here at the 4th house. Up here is Scorpio. This is the 8th house. And Pluto, it's a water fixed sign. Once upon a time, it used to co-rule Mars, but we'll talk about that in planets later on. Over here, we've got Pisces. It's the 12th house, and it rules Neptune. Once upon a time, it shared Jupiter. Again, we'll talk about those in planets later on in the D series. But it is a water mutable sign, and that's where the house is. Now, down here, you'll see we highlighted all the little blue areas. Each one of these blue areas tells you a little bit more about the sign. It's the same information that you had up here, but it breaks it down linearly so you can see it, how it all connects right here. So let's bring it on back over here to the Google search. We'll do the Google search and see what Google has to say before we talk about all the keywords about water. In Western astrology, the water element embodies emotions, intuition, sensitivity, and subconscious depths. Associated with the zodiac signs Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, water signs are known for their empathetic nature, nurturing qualities, and deep connection to their feelings and relationships. While they offer profound emotional understanding and creativity, their sensitivity can also make them vulnerable to moodiness and feeling overwhelmed. Cool, that is a very descriptive paragraph, and it does tell a lot about water. They also do get into a lot more detail here, as Google always does, and you can do the deeper dive with AI. Remember, this will always be a little bit different, so if you click on something, it probably won't be the same thing as it is here that I'm reading. But let's move on and look at some of the other pages that are here. We can try something new this time. Let's try the Astrolinks and see what they have to say. The water element in astrology governs emotions, the subconscious mind, sensitivity, feelings, and underlines the signs of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. It is considered a cold and wet element. It rises above earth, but is below air, and gives suppleness and nourishment to substance. The symbol for the water element is a triangle pointing downwards, right here, representing our desire to descend because of our cool and wet quality. The strength of this element can make people more patient, compassionate, empathic, secretive, imaginative, dreamy, selfless, more artistically inclined, intuitive, emotional, and sensitive. Those who more easily feel something that may have gone unnoticed by other people. Its elemental characteristics are humidifying, hydrating, purifying, refreshing, toning, cleansing, calming, protecting, and diluting. So let me stop there before I finish this paragraph. Sometimes you'll read stuff that won't always tell the full truth. Sometimes it's a little biased by the person writing it. And I can tell you right here that this one is a little biased because they're not always calm, they're not always protecting, and sometimes they're actually stagnant if they stay in places too long. It's a problem that all water signs have. They are very good at cleansing when they get in that cleansing mode and they move forward, but if they stay still too long, they will be stagnant. And sometimes they can be quite selfish because water signs are primal, and primal signs have a tendency to want to hold on to their resources and their territory like all primal instincts are. So it's not completely true. They can be selfless with the people that really are close to them, that they love, like their family and their children, but that's the only case. So let's go back, kind of pick this one apart a little bit, and let's look at another one and see what they have to say. Let's go back to the Old Farmers Almanac. We've used them already. Let's see what they have to say in this finale here about water signs, since we've already been on this particular page more than once. Did you ever hear the saying that still waters run deep? That's an apt description of water signs. Their emotions lead the way in everything they do. They're sensitive, nurturing, compassionate, and intuitive. Sometimes they can be easily hurt, especially when they feel their love or empathy is not reciprocated. In those cases, they can become swept away in their emotions. Now, one thing, this is actually not a bad paragraph, but it's a little limited, and it's not telling you some of the full detail. Water signs are the deep people of all the astrology. They actually get into deep depths, and they go farther than anyone else, and they'll look for information and knowledge and wisdom far beyond what other people are willing to take things. And that is part of why the still waters run deep. They're amazing at that. But they are sensitive and emotional, so sometimes when people aren't willing to appreciate that side of them, they get a little hurt. So it's something you have to respect, because not everybody takes the time that water signs do to really master their specific areas. So let's back up and get back to reading some of those keywords. This was a good little breakdown of some of the things that Google has to say, and a good little point to get other references. And let's go here and check those out. Now, just like every video, we always like putting keywords in that talk a little bit about the general traits, positive traits, and negative traits, so you can get a good little balance of what keywords are for whatever the topic we're talking about. In this case, we're talking about the element of water, and these are a lot of the keywords you'll see. Now, granted, later on, I always mention we might talk about Pisces or something like that, and some of these traits will pop up in their page because they're also water signs and they'll share some of these traits. So let's go over those and read them right now. General traits: emotional, intuition, sensitivity, imagination, depth, receptivity, healing, fluidity. Positive traits: compassionate, intuitive, creative, empathetic, supportive, loyal, emotionally intelligent, and spiritually aware. Negative traits: moody, oversensitive, withdrawn, escapist, secretive, manipulative, passive aggressive, prone to being emotionally overwhelmed. So these are all some really cool keywords to let you know about water signs that you'll find later on show up in some of these other things, like I said, but they're cool things to kind of let you know how water signs kind of feel and think, and some things when you're thinking about water to know about them. So that pretty much sums up what is the water element and the entire A series. In the next series, we're going to be moving on to modalities. And when we talk about modalities, also the quadruplicities, it's the three modalities, which are cardinal, fixed, and mutable. And we'll go over that more in detail, and we'll have a bunch of information, keywords, and stuff on the key ring that connects it all together. We hope you have enjoyed this video from our Astrology Keyring series. If you like the content, please like, follow, and share with your friends. Thank you for watching, and have a blessed journey.